It is now 25 minutes to 8 o'clock. This is Morning Express, and in case you're joining us now, welcome aboard. It's time for us to get into the main segment where we look at what has been happening politically speaking. And a political showdown is looming as the BBI report nears its release. Sources within political circles intimate that to KTN News that President Uhuru Kenyatta and ODM leader Raila Odinga are set to receive the much-awaited report from the Building Bridges Initiative Task Force, even as Deputy President continues his onslaught against the BBI process, terming it a ploy to create positions for a select few. Jeff Kirui tells us more.
For the last 7 months, the tunes of reggae during the BBI rallies across the country had paused due to the COVID-19 pandemic. But politicians are now eager to bounce back and dance to the tunes of constitutional changes ahead of the 2022 general election.
Nobody can stop reggae. Nobody can.
The much-awaited BBI report is set to be released anytime from Monday if the Saturday State House meeting chaired by President Uhuru Kenyatta that brought on board all majority and minority leaders of parliament as well as chairs and their deputies of various departmental committees is anything to go by.
Sasa ripoti ya pili imekamilika, iko karibu sasa. Siku chache tu mimi na Uhuru tutapokea.
The term of the BBI task force expired in June, and pressure has been mounting on the head of state to receive and release the report.
As the head of this country, the buck ends on your table. Before you release the BBI report, I request you to call all leaders. We sit together. We agree that this is good for our country, so that when we go to referendum, if at all, let that referendum leave our country more united than it is and not more divided than it is today.
Tuko tayari Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta na Raila Amolo Odinga watoe ripoti ya BBI.
Ile tungesema tu tungojee hiyo report kwa sababu hawa wawili ndio watatupatia report. Lakini vile muda unayoyoma, economy ya Kenya ni mbaya. Economy ya Kenya hatujui kama ita sustain election bili.
But even as President Uhuru Kenyatta and ODM leader Raila Odinga say the Building Bridges initiative will change the course of Kenya, Deputy President William Ruto appears to read from a different script. Ruto openly campaigning against any proposal to expand the executive.
Wanasema ati tubadilishe katiba kuwe na prime minister. Tunasema tubadilishe mjadala mwananchi mdogo tuanze kuzungumza mambo yake.
The first BBI report released in November last year presented a raft of proposals, including bringing back the position of a prime minister. The proposed prime minister in that BBI report shall be an elected member of the National Assembly from the party with majority in the National Assembly. Another radical shift recommended by the first BBI report is a mixed cabinet that shall be appointed by the president in consultation with the prime minister. That cabinet shall draw its membership from parliament and technocrats.
As it used to be before, he can reply what problem is within that ministry from the floor, instead of this going through committee chairmen who don't know anything happening in those ministries.
Jeff Kirui, KTN News.
All right, and that discourse continues, and that's like what we'd like to discuss this morning. And continuing with this conversation, we have Canon Ambrose Weda and Honorable Joe Mtambo. Let me start with you, Honorable Joe Mtambo. It looks like reggae is going to continue. We had been told even COVID-19 was not good enough to stop reggae. But what remains a mystery is the fact that we have two sides. We have the side that is saying that, well, it's only a matter of when, as opposed to whether it's going to happen or not. We also have the side of the deputy president who says this is just a creation of positions. The unfortunate thing is 4 months from the time this Building Bridges Initiative report was complete, we've not been given the opportunity to see it. But it looks like people have already taken sides. Isn't that a dangerous thing, given it looks like they already have their, the die cast? Your thoughts on this as to whether we should have been, first of all, given an opportunity to read through the document and as Kenyans decide?
Very true, Mike. What I would say is that it is very, I do not understand where people get their guts from. Those who are supporting and those who are opposing. You cannot support something which you don't know. Likewise, you cannot oppose something which you do not know. I will not be quick in in taking any side at this particular moment. What I know from where I sit is that any good law is good for the country. If the law is good for the prosperity of the country, it is good, and it is wrong to oppose it. If that law is bringing stability of this nation, and it is bringing food to my table and to the table of Weda's kings, that law is good. But if that law is not good for the country, then definitely I will oppose it. I cannot say today at this moment that I'm going to oppose BBI and I do not know the content of the BBI. I am not going to say I'm going to support it and I do not know the content of the BBI. This was idea urged by two people. And as it is, from where I sit, is just a proposal by two people who said we want to change the constitution and we want to bring it to Kenyans to either adopt our ideas or not. So they have not brought it. They brought the first one. And I remember I was in your show with Apros Web, and we told Kenyans, you know what? The BBI you got in Bomas, you may not hear about it. And that's why I am getting information from media that the second set. So that means the first
Honorable
set
Mtambo,
was not good enough. Kenyans either rejected or
sorry to interrupt
the
you.
second set, and the proposers of this law felt like, maybe what we have given Kenyans is not what we wanted. Maybe whatever was there. And I want to quote my good friend Ambrose Wenda. When he told Kenyans what Baba wanted in the BBI was not in the first BBA.
Allow me to interrupt you.
So maybe whatever they wanted was not in that document. Because my understanding is if it was after launching it, we could have passed it and we could have adjusted the issue of BBI by now. So
all right,
let
Honorable
us wait
Mtambo,
and see what is in this BBI 2. If it is aspiration of only one person or two people, and it does not capture the aspiration of the nation, I want to tell you nobody will support it. But if it catches the aspiration of Kenyans, we will all support it.
All right, so Honorable Mtambo,
who loves this country, who will not
Honorable Mtambo, as a seasoned politician, what do you make of the two sides that are already fighting over a document that we as Kenyans have not seen yet? We are told by the Constitution that the power lies with us. It's us really who should be deciding as Mwananchi. But you have two bulls fighting here, and one saying we are going BBI way, whether we like it or we don't. We have another team saying this is a creation of very few people and a creation of positions. As a seasoned politician, what do you make of that fight?
This fight is not about BBI, let me tell you. This fight is about 2022. BBI is not there in these two camps. This camp, every person is running, to capture the seat. And I want to tell you, you need to understand. I have heard people telling Ruto, Ruto, don't do politics, don't do this, but the other team is doing politics. We also need to understand with the current constitution, and this is where I differ with my good friend, my president, my boss, that with the current constitution, my boss is set to retire if we do not extend time for him. He is going home. Ruto is set to come to State House. He's trying to come to State. These are two different people going different directions, and they cannot move at the same pace. There is no way anybody can tell Ruto, do not run when they are going to the market to sell their chicken, yet you have sold your chicken. And you are heading home.
All right.
These are two different people with moving on different directions.
All right.
And that's why you see there is a lot of it, because there is the issue of president relinquishing power to the person who is.
All right, Honorable Mtambo, let me give an opportunity to Weda.
The president wanting to leave power to the person he wants to support.
All right.
So this division you see is not about BBI. Let us not be cheated.
It is
Drop
about
the BBI,
2022.
and these two functions will still be there. Bring the BBI or bring anything else, this function will still be there. It is all about 2022. It's not about BBI.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mtambo. Let me hear from Canon Ambrose Weda. Your thoughts on this and what we should make of what is happening, the war in regards to BBI. We have those who say that it's about time we change the constitution. But of course, there are questions also lingering. If we've not been able to even keep and obey the constitution that we have currently, and we're already talking about another constitutional change, what difference is there going to be? But Canon Ambrose Weda, what do you make of the discourse that we have currently at the political level?
Thank you so much, Gitonga. I think, as my brother John Mutambo has said, it is about 2022. And I remember having mentioned that the BBI issue, Honorable William Samoei Ruto's side will use it to test their election machinery. Honorable Raila Odinga, on the other hand, is hoping that he'll rope in President Uhuru and they will tell him that we will divide these powers and then you take this position so that you don't retire, as Atuli had said it. So they will make a team. That is why the BBI now is coming. And it is supposed to be functioned in such a way that you stop one side, you stop the deputy president either from contesting or coming into power. It is basically, as Joe Mutambo said, 2022 issue. It's not about Wanjiku, it's not about you. If it was about Wanjiku, the people, the president would be leading us on matters of revamping the economy, which is in recession. Young people are growing older before they start working. In other words, we'll be talking about job creation. That is the basis upon which the president was elected, the deputy president was elected. We were told and we were promised affordable quality health care for all of us. Some of us are still waiting for railway, the standard gauge railway, to reach Kisumu. These are things that we would be talking about today. We'll be talking about eliminating corona so that we eliminate fear, so that the economy gets back to life. We will not be talking about the constitution. The constitution we have has not been implemented fully. So we needed to have implemented it fully, and then we see where there are flaws. For now, I think because time is running out for one senior politician, he wants to dance reggae. They think, forget about Wanjiku, forget about Otieno, forget about Omolo, forget about Kiplagat, forget about this or only that. It is about us and position. So I think one good chance for this country is that the big wigs are not coalescing together. If Ruto was in, Mudavadi in, Raila in, Kalonzo in, President Uhuru in on one side, then Wanjiku will have to be forced to fall. But it seems that the deputy president will be taking a different target, thereby pouring in money and resources and time. It will give Kenyans an opportunity to have a say on this. I say amending the constitution is good. The question is it our priority? Today, as we stand, those are not our key priorities. We are looking for jobs for our children, our grandchildren, our people. We are not looking for amend this constitution, amend that, because the constitution itself does not steal. The constitution itself does not bring the food on the table. It is the government structure. I appeal to my president, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. My president, leave a legacy of prosperity. We don't mind even fighting when we are happy and full.
All right.
Your Ugandans have been up and down, but there is enough food, they are moving. We want to move.
Moving forward, how long do you see this going on? Maybe to look into your political crystal ball, as it were, given that we even had the president bring up the meeting that he had in France, and he says part of the issues that we have in the country is that even foreign investors are finding it difficult to invest in the country when we have this political turmoil. Yet, as he was talking to cabinet on one hand in regards to supporting BBI, we had the deputy president, in Central Province talking about this against the BBI. How long can we carry on with a presidency that is not reading from the same script?
I think this was introduced by the president himself. The building bridges should have been bridges across from Nyanza to Sugoi, from Sugoi to Ichaweri, from Ichaweri to Mululu, from Mululu to where Honorable Kalonzo comes from, I just forgotten the name. It would have been everybody, and then we talk about prosperity. But for now, it has been created. The president may have to live with it until he leaves office.
Right. Let me hear from Honorable Mtambo on your thoughts on how long this can carry on, particularly for the country. Right now, with COVID-19, most Kenyans are literally just barely making it and looking for just for food. But here we are already thinking about 2022, and it is already creating a problem for us as a country, because given the economy where it is, would expect the political class to be in one, singing in harmony in regards to the economy, for us to improve the economy. But that's not happening simply because of 2022.
I feel my president, and I understand where his problem lies. Our president wants to leave a united country. But the decision he took of handshake is what is disturbing his country. Why? President is placed in between a rock and a hard place. He has Raila on his side, and he knows that the moment I say, Raila, I'm not with you and I'm not supporting you anymore, Raila's people will bring havoc and they will wreck his country, and what he wanted he would not have achieved. On the other hand, he has Ruto, who he has worked with and he has moved across the country with, and he has promised him, and Ruto has his own people. And the moment he says, Ruto, I am not with you, the Ruto's people will also bring havoc in this country. So for him to be safe, he has to have the two people together. And that is where the idea of BBI is coming in. And on my thinking is, the BBI is coming in so that president can leverage on it and say, if it is Kalenjin, I have Kalenjin here in BBI. If it is Luos, I have Luos in the BBI, not necessarily to have an individual by the name Samoei Ruto, but not necessarily to have an individual by the name Raila. But if it is you, Luo people, I have you here in the BBI. What is your problem? If it is Kalenjin, I have you here in BBI. If it is Wakamba, not necessarily Kalonzo Musyoka, but I have Mutambo in the BBI. If it is people from Garissa, I have Sanehaji here with you people. What is so I think from my reading, that is where the president is pushing this BBI. He has no other reason apart from trying to unite Kenyans in that way. But the way he sees today, he is sitting in a very hot seat, not knowing what to do with his two friends, who are one is on his left and the other one is on his right. And he cannot deny that he was with Ruto and he traversed the country with Ruto and he promised Ruto when people are listening. He cannot deny that he promised to work with Raila when people were listening. So he is in a fix. Our president is in a fix.
All right.
And for him to come out from that quagmire, he has to bring these people together for this country to heal. So I want to tell Kenyans, brace yourself for more division of this country. If president takes sides, my thinking and the way I see it, I'm waiting President Uhuru Kenyatta to remain calm the way he has remained, because President Uhuru Kenyatta has not said, and that's why I don't take side, because he is my boss. He has not said that he don't support Ruto. He has not said he's going to support Raila. He's there, he's quiet. He's quiet.
All right, Honorable Mutambo.
That President Uhuru Kenyatta will remain quiet until the day of going to Kasarani to hand over power.
All right, Honorable Mutambo.
He tells them, guys, go to the people.
I get your point.
If anyone be elected, I will hand over power to whoever will be elected.
Very simple question before we move away from the BBI. Honorable Mutambo. A very simple question before we move away from the BBI. Are we, in your opinion, more united as a country or more divided with the handshake?
We are more divided.
More divided. All right, let me move on to Ambrose Weda.
We are not united.
Okay.
The only thing, what is there, it is that those people who are making a lot of noise, they kept quiet.
Okay.
Those people who are running in the street, they are no longer running in the street. But I want to tell you, the people who are not happy without throwing stones are more than those who are not happy and throwing stones. We need to understand that.
All right, let me hear from Ambrose Weda.
It's burning under without even showing the smoke. That fire is very dangerous.
Okay, Weda, coming to you, and the question is, do you feel we are more united as a country or more divided since the handshake? Because if we're getting more divided, then we are staring at a bigger problem. Weda?
Yes. The way we are today, we are fairly divided. And unlike my friend Joe Mutambo, I think my president got a few things wrong. He has leaned more on Upoda, Bondo, than on Sugoi. And this has caused qualms. He needed to come back to the center so that even if Honorable is dancing reggae and the deputy is tangering, all these are his people. But the way it is now, the way they are giving a hard kick to the deputy is harvesting what we call sympathy. People now tend to sympathize. People now tend to look at my president as dishonest. He lied that they'll be together. This is my daily prayer, that my president may come in between if he's going to unite Kenyans, that to bring everybody together so that they move. Whoever becomes president, if Honorable Raila becomes president, that is fine. If Honorable Ruto becomes president, fine. If Kalonzo becomes president, fine. If Nganga of Machakos County becomes president, well, but the way now the president is also taking sides, and the way Honorable Raila is talking upende usipende language, it is dividing this country, especially when we are hungry. We don't have food, we don't have jobs, we don't have affordable quality health care. We need Your Excellency, come back to line. Even if you ate cake in Mombasa, you are still our leader, and we want a united country. Honorable Raila, please don't tell us the BBI will be mupende musipende. Don't tell us that. Some of us will just rebel because of that language. Don't tell us about dancing reggae. Some of us stopped dancing reggae. We are now dancing to kutendereza. Just unite us the way we are supposed to be. As
all right, Weda, I think we'll wind up right there on the kutendereza note. I think that would be a good point to finish off. And just a quick reminder of the question that we had asked earlier on, and we're asking whether you feel that the BBI debate needs to continue and start off. The question that we had asked, there you go. And I'll just be reading some of the comments before we take a break shortly. In this country, it's their priority. Wacha projects zingine zisimame, but they get what they want. We have Wilson, who says all what Kenyans want is a good, sustainable economy, job, security, health, care, education, and infrastructure, which the government has failed to deliver. Do you think that BBI will be able to deliver? It is a scam, according to him. We have Kismei, who says those who have money and time to waste can join the bandwagon of Building Bridges initiative. Majority of Kenyans have lost their jobs and concerned about food. I'll read one more before we take a break. We have Stanley, who says Uhuru needs power through BBI. How then should we entertain anything which will take power from him? Uhuru believes that there can only be 47 million deaths in remaining lots. Well, that's potentially not quite sure what direction that is taking. But Sir Kensa says that okay, that I think I'll not read that now on air. But yeah, keep your comments coming. It is now just 2 minutes to 8 o'clock. We're going to take a short break right here on Morning Express. And today being Monday, remember, we have Toskin, who comes in with an update of what's happening in the sports arena. So that's coming up right here on Morning